Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned in to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 824. I am hearing my videos, so you got to give me a moment to get things muted. 824. We just heard the first two songs of the show. They were Music Man by Noble Hops, brand new track, and Mimic's song Shadowbox. With me tonight is Cathleen Ireland. Kathleen, is that what you want to go by, or should I call you?
Oh, yeah. Well, Kathleen is, I guess, what most people call me. But I have a few nicknames, and my family calls me Kathy, and a lot of my friends call me Kat. So whatever.
So having the name Bill, which I don't like, that's why I asked. Or William. I don't like William, so I go by Bill. But I also a lot of times will forget to ask last names. Yours is an easy one, but that bothers me too, because my last name is not an easy one to say for people, and then I feel bad if I misspeak and say someone's name wrong on the show. But anyway, okay, Kathleen. So you are a MTS management. What's the word I want to use?
Artist.
Client, artist.
Yeah.
Michael Stover.
Yes.
Who has been on the show, but it's been a long time. I should probably get him on again.
You should.
So it's the Pennsylvania Rock Show, but we're kind of veering off. And why don't you tell everybody what your sound is?
Well, I guess I don't really like to stick myself in just one genre, but my stuff definitely leans to the R&B and pop, and probably the pop side of R&B. But I have written songs in just about every genre, even jazz over the years. I have country tunes and jazz tunes out there. But yeah, my current style and the releases that I've done the past few years have all been in that pop and R&B, neo soul.
You froze on me there for a second.
Yeah, I see that.
So what I want to start with is I want to pull up your website, and let me find that button. There it is. So this is CathleenIreland.com. And anyone who is familiar with the area notices the Gateway Clipper and the skyline from Pittsburgh there. So I did want to mention you are a Pittsburgh artist.
Yes, I am.
But I just wanted everybody to have a chance to take a look at the site real quick. I'm going to scroll really fast, but lots of awards. Let's hit that. International awards, both for songwriting and video. And here's a chance for you to not be humble and tell us a little bit about those.
Well, definitely I have a lot of music video awards, but I really can't take credit for those because I have a fabulous director, and he's my bandmate now also in my cover band. His name's Joe Chilcott, and he's been making music videos with me for the past, I don't know, probably 5 years or more. And my idea was I would get onto Film Freeway and send them out to all the different film festivals out there and see if we got in. I was hopeful that some filmmaker would say, "Oh, I like that song. I want to use it in one of my films." But that's not really what happened. But we did win a lot of awards, so it hasn't been a waste of time at all. And I'm proud of all those music videos. And Joe and I work together great, and he's very easy to work with. And I usually come up with kind of an idea, a concept of what I think how the music video should be based, and write a little treatment out as far as ideas for the different scenes and things, and then he takes it from there. And he's a real talent.
How can other people like that? Does he work with other bands and artists?
Yeah, he does. I know that he is very busy. That's not the only thing that he does, but yeah, when he has time. I know I just hit him up the other day saying I wanted to do another video like this summer, and I think He was saying maybe July time frame he would have some time. So he's kind of a busy guy, but yeah, he does. I'm sure he would work with other artists. Yeah.
And do you happen to know an easy way for them to contact him?
Oh, on Instagram, he is Joey2Chill. That is the numeral 2. So Joey, Joey, the numeral 2, and then Chill. His last name's Chilcott, and he's a very chill dude. So it's just Chill.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you the official and unofficial build a scene questions and get them out of the way here in this first segment. So the unofficial question is, what is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
Oh my God. Well, you know what they say about pizza, right? Like it's like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. Yeah. Like, right? So I love pizza, and I honestly haven't had too many bad ones. But my family and I definitely disagree on which ones here in India. I live in Indiana, PA now. I'm from Pittsburgh. You mentioned I'm a Pittsburgh artist. I'm from Penn Hills, and I went to Pitt. But here in Indiana, PA, let me think. My favorite here in town is probably Josephine's or Romeo's. Those two are my favorites for pizza. And in Pittsburgh, I mean, yeah, you got to go with Vincent's, Vinnie Pie, right? Yeah, those little pepperoni grease cups. They're great for the complexion.
Right, so the official question is another weird one, but who's your Dave Grohl? And by that, I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their original songs? Because Dave's known for pulling fans out of the crowd.
Oh my God. Well, I did get pulled out of a crowd here in Indiana by the Beach Boys. I got to go up on stage with the Beach Boys, but they're actually, I mean, I love the Beach Boys, but my son, that's one of his favorites. I like pop music. My husband likes punk music, and my son loves classic rock. We have covered everything up here.
So I have to ask, was Uncle Jesse playing with him that night?
Uncle Jesse
from Full House. Stamos.
Yeah, John Stamos was not with them, but yeah, there was a younger guy that played guitar. He did that thing where he puts you in between him and the guitar and he plays. And my brother-in-law was in bands with me for years, and he used to do that to me all the time on stage, so I knew exactly what to expect. But yeah, I don't know what that guy's name is though. It wasn't John Stamos. But Mike Love was there, and what's the other Johnson? What's his first name? In the Beach Boys. Sorry, that's not. Yeah. Anyway, but that was a cool night. But who would I really just love to go up on stage with? And geez, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I was mostly inspired by Madonna. It'd probably be pretty cool. Sabrina Carpenter got to do it, so maybe I could go up on stage with Madonna.
So we have just about 40 seconds left in this segment. It always goes so fast. If you could sit down with any musician and talk to them about songwriting, who would you pick?
Any musician well, he's deceased. Would probably be
you can absolutely do that. Prince?
It would be Prince for sure. But he's kind of shy. I don't know how much he would give up to a stranger. He was a pretty private person. But yeah, just, I mean, I can't think of anyone that I know of that can write songs like Prince. But if it wasn't Prince, what about maybe, one of the Beatles? Paul McCartney or John Lennon.
Very cool. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a moment and we're going to listen to In the City and Coastin' by Cathleen Ireland, and we'll be right back. And I'm going to let her talk about them when we come back. It's Bill. We're back for segment number 2. I almost forgot that I have it come to this scene so that I can do this. Bring it in there. There we go. So that is the microphone I'm using. It is a PD200W by Mono. Mono does sponsor the show, and you'll notice my interface here that I'm not actually using tonight, but it is also Mono. And I have some cool wireless mics that I use from time to time that will lav mics that will be used on this show and my others, also by Mono. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We're headed into segment number 2 with Cathleen Ireland, and you just heard 2 of her tracks, "In the City" and "Coastin'." And let's talk about songwriting, and then we'll talk about the songs.
Okay.
Maybe you could pick one of the songs and talk about writing it. Let's do that. You pick which one.
Well, okay, we'll do Coastin'. That's like my favorite right now. So, yeah, but that one was inspired by my husband and I are fortunate in that we have a second home in Florida, and we bought it a couple years ago. I guess maybe 3-4 years ago now, but it's become like one of our places that we absolutely love to go. And my husband works super hard so that his wife can do music. But he works constantly, works harder than anyone I've ever known before. And it's a place where we can just kind of relax. And he's still working there a lot, but it's, better working at the beach than at home in Indiana, PA. No offense to Indiana, but definitely Coastin' is 100% about that place. And I'll probably get, sometimes when I talk about my songs, I get a little choked up. So it's just about, that awesome place at the beach where we can reconnect and get close after, he's been working or traveling for weeks at a time. And I wrote that one. My producer, Ryan Tedder, that I write a lot of my songs with. I'm really fortunate to work with Ryan M. Tedder. This is not Ryan Tedder from One Republic, but this is Pittsburgh's Ryan Tedder. And Ryan's worked with, when he was in LA, he's worked with Meghan Trainor and Ariana Grande and Jennifer Lopez, just to name a few. And he usually will send me, basically like beats to see if anything connects with me. And then for Coastin', I just put that on my phone and headed on down to the beach in Deerfield Beach, near where we have our place. There's a mile long of pavers, and I like to walk. So I walk down there and listen to the song until something comes to mind. And that's where that song originated, walking along the beach. So it's called Coastin'. It's all about being at the coast.
Is that how you usually write? Do you usually walk along the beach and listen?
I do. I definitely do that there. I mean, when I'm walking with my husband, I'm not working on songs, but when he's working and I'm walking by myself, I almost always am working on songs. And then we have here in Indiana where we live, in our neighborhood, we have a wildlife reserve that has trails through the woods. And bears. And it's, yeah. And so when I walk up there, which I do a lot, I usually don't even use headphones. I just let it play out loud because it keeps the bears away. But I write out there too. I really find out in nature is the best place for me to write. I don't know. I can think clear and breathe out there and clear my mind and I don't know, be open to what God sends me. Because I definitely think songs, especially the ones that come really fast, those I always think they come from somewhere else. A lot of times I'll say, wow, did I write that? Like I ever even use that word? Or that doesn't even sound like me, but it just seems like it came from somewhere else, So.
So I'm going to do something that probably will be a little awkward for you, because when I've asked this question in the past, the artist always goes, if you had to pick one of your songs as your favorite for people to be introduced to you as an artist first. So I'm going to say your favorite song, and that's where that comes in, because they're like, but they're all my baby. And I get that. But which one would you say that they should listen to draw them into what you do?
Well, Okay, so because I had to go through this with Michael Stover, like I had to kind of pick a song off my last album, like which ones to promote. And first one I did was, in the city because I wanted something hometown. I wanted something about Pittsburgh. But the second one was Coastin' because I really do feel that one has my personality in it. I think Coastin', not that I'm a beach bum, but it's a very positive energy, I think. And I mean, the lyrics are like, I'm so blessed to be here. That's me, and that I feel like that one captures my personality. He actually wanted to do a different song on the album, and I said no, that one is very intimate. He wanted to do a song called Proud of Me, which is the last song on my last album, on the album In the City. It's called Proud of Me. Very intimate, slow song. It's very emotional, but Coastin' is my personality. That's what I think.
Okay. So, I don't know if everybody that's watching now was watching earlier, but on the website, there is a tab that says music. You can head there. Where else can they find your music? I'm assuming streaming like everywhere, but
It is. It's everywhere. It's yeah. So of course, Spotify and Amazon and iTunes and Google Play and Pandora. And I don't know if I'm leaving anyone out, but it's distributed through DistroKid, so it's out to all the streaming platforms. YouTube, of course, also under Kathleen Ireland topic are the albums and my singles.
All right, so now I'm going to hit you with another build the scene type question. So you're leaving a show, and there's a DeLorean sitting outside with the door up and a flux capacitor in the back. Marty went back in time and played with Chuck Berry's cousin Marvin's band.
Okay.
Who are you going to go back in time and play with?
Gladys Knight.
Oh, that was fast. Have you watched this show? Did you know that was coming?
I did not know that was coming, and I honestly, there you go. There's the honest, that the first answer that just pops out. That's the one that's true.
All right, so now keep in mind you have that DeLorean. I'm not going to take it away from you.
Okay.
The next question is: you can pick any 4 people in the history of the world and invite them to dinner with you. At least one has to be a musician. Who you're going to invite, and why are you inviting that person?
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, one has to be a musician. We already said that would be Prince.
I had a feeling.
Okay, that would be Prince. But I'm going to have to throw Madonna in there too, just because she's been definitely a major influence because of my age, and I started singing in bands in 1984, so there was no other presence for a female pop singer like Madonna in 1984. So we got Prince and Madonna, and then I'm going to have to go with some actors because I love movies. Definitely Robert Downey Jr. is in there for sure. This is such a weird dinner. Such a weird dinner. Let me think. Robert Downey Jr. and maybe Ed Norton, but I don't know how those two are going to get along. I don't think they would like each other, but yeah, maybe Ed Norton, or you know what? Maybe Ed Norton's maybe problematic personality wise. So I'm going to say, what about Chris Hemsworth? We'll bring him. He's so fun.
So you're going to have Thor and Iron Man at your dinner.
Oh, definitely. I'd have all the Avengers, actually, if I didn't have to have a musician. It would just be me and the Avengers eating shawarma. In New York City. That's what we'd be doing.
I love that answer. I'm going to have to figure out where you're at because I'd like to hang out with Thor and Iron Man too.
Yeah.
My whole classroom is decorated in superhero stuff. So mostly Spider-Man. But
can I ask you a question? Yeah. Well, so your love of superheroes from the comics or from the movies?
Oh, the comics. When I was little.
Yeah. So I'm jealous because all the boys know the comics. Me, I just know the movies.
So
yeah, what are you, DC or Marvel?
Marvel. But I do have this really cool Batman painting in my classroom that was painted by a bass player, and I can't remember what band she was in. She does canvas and oil painting.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I
Uh,
said Kim Deal because it's a female bass player. I think she's a
um,
bass player. So,
but I won it in a raffle at a charity concert. And it
wow, that's
hangs in
pretty
my
cool.
classroom. So Batman's my second favorite character, but I like Marvel better than I like DC.
Well, so you're like me because honestly, Superman. I was a Superman fan. Well, yeah, I loved Smallville. I've written songs that were inspired by Smallville.
Nice.
Probably at least two, maybe three of them. Oh yeah, three of them were inspired by Smallville scenes. I love Smallville, but I loved Superman even before that. I mean, I watched Smallville because I liked Superman already from Christopher Reeves. But then when I saw Iron Man, it changed my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to take our next break and we'll come back and we'll discuss this a little bit more, but then we're going to talk some more music.
Okay.
um, we have one track in this break. It is 9 Sundays and our song Roll On. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back in another desk view. We are headed into segment number 3. That was 9 Sundays Roll On. And tonight we are chatting with Cathleen Ireland. And she noticed in the flyers that were rotating there on the BRB screen, the Be Right Back screen, the Penn Hills. Do you remember what date that is?
It is Friday, May 29th, but that show is sold out. So I believe they're adding a second show on Thursday, May 28th.
And you were playing in it. And I know John Vento is. And off the top
Yes.
of my head, that's all I can think of right now. But John was the reason. John played in my living room when this show first started back in like 2004. So,
Oh, wow. I just met him actually. We had lunch like a week ago. And we had
he is
known of each
awesome.
other. He's wonderful. What a really wonderful guy. We'd known of each other for a very long time, but had never met. And on my street in Penn Hills, there was a guy named John Vento. I didn't know him either. He was older than me, but he lived down the street. And all my life, I thought it was the same John Vento, but it was not. Penn Hills has a lot of Italian boys.
Well, this John Vento, if you ever have a chance, every summer he has a show at his house, and he has a full outdoor stage in his backyard. It's Corbry Woodstock, and I want to say it's usually at the end of August, beginning of September. Very cool show, and usually it benefits. I want to say it's Allegheny Waterways, which is a organization that works on cleaning up pollution along the rivers in Allegheny County.
Well, he didn't even tell me about that, so I sure hope he invites me. So if someone can let him know, he should invite me to perform. I'm there.
All right, so we were talking about Marvel a little bit there, and I would love to keep talking about that, but we're gonna talk about music. So tell me about an embarrassing moment you've had while you were performing.
Oh God. Okay. Are you sure you want to know? All right, here it goes. I have the perfect story. So back in the 90s, I want to say, what year was I in? I was in a band called Friday's Child. That was like an alternative rock band. with my friends Denny Bondra and Sharon Oakes and Roger Oakes. And we did a lot of Alanis Morissette, and Denny's a great singer, and he did a lot of AC/DC and all kinds of Bush and all kinds of rock music. But we were playing a show, and the club was called Rose's Continental Lounge in Somerset. And behind the stage at Rose's Continental Lounge, there was like cork and then mirror, and then cork and mirror. So it was like stripes, a row of cork and then a row of mirror. And it went the whole way behind the stage and kind of in like I think it was even like a semicircle maybe. But that show, I thought I was so cool, so hip, and I was skinny, and I wore like a belly top, a shirt that tied in the middle of the breast, tied there, and my stomach showed, and I back then I would, I danced and bounced around on stage a whole lot, and my bra strap broke. So like during our last song, the last song of this set. So, but I felt it break, and I thought, well, okay, this is the last song. Then I'm going to go in the bathroom and fix my bra. And I just continued singing. And when the song was ended, I turned around, and our drummer was a female. Sharon Oakes was the drummer. And she's pointing at me with her drumsticks, pointing. And she's like, oh my God. Yes, my entire breast was showing. Let me try to remember which one it was. I think it was the left. I believe it was the left breast, totally exposed. And when I looked up in that mirror and cork, my breast was like 57. Because
so normally turning around would have saved you, but in this case it made it worse.
But yeah, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. Now, what's weird about it is neither one of the guys on the stage, because they would never look at me, neither one of them saw it. But the sound man and then everyone in the bar did. And it's funny because just like a few years ago, I met someone who was telling me that they used to see my band, and they said to me, I was there on the night, and I knew immediately what they meant. And I just asked, well, how did it look?
Wow, not what I was expecting.
Sorry.
I asked one time, and a band told me they were playing in a bar, in a dog playground, and a dog walked up to his amp and relieved itself on it.
Oh my! No, that might actually beat mine, but in a completely different way.
Yeah. So I get all kinds of strange answers on that one. Yours is kind of high.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, those were the days.
Let's see.
Oh, that was funny. That's my face red now. It feels hot.
Well, I mean, you did just tell. Let me give you an idea. I was looking at the numbers on my website last night. This year, so since January, buildascene.com has almost 1.5 million hits. So,
okay, great. That's okay. It's truth. It happened. Yes.
So I've been asking this question a lot recently. I kind of get in like patterns for a while. When you're in 824 episodes in, sometimes questions get repeated, but
yeah, it's okay.
So my friend Jazz, who has Jazz's Rock and Road show, and he has a studio called Rattle Clack, and is in a bunch of bands himself, played one of his original songs at the South Pole.
Whoa.
Right? On an acoustic guitar, and not all of it because it was cold. But
and then his fingers fell off.
Yes. And Metallica has played in Antarctica, and Kiss has played in a bay to sharks. What is a non-standard venue that you would like to just kind of stroll out to and start performing?
Oh, one one that I thought you were going to ask me one that I had played, but I can't think
Oh,
of
you can
anything.
throw that out too if you have one.
I can't think right now of anything that's that unique, but maybe it'll come to me later. Where would I like to play out? Wow. I don't know. This is new. I never thought of this before. Like, somewhere really unique. I mean, at this point, I'd be happy to play a gig down in Florida. But I don't know about either of the polls. Even in another country would be cool. All right, let's go with Ireland. I think it would be pretty cool to play in Ireland since my name's Cathleen Ireland. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't really think. I don't know. I have fun. I mean, I'll tell you, and this is just even recently, I've worked with some musicians that, they get bored if they. We play. My cover band plays a lot. We play like every week almost, and sometimes multiple times a week. And sometimes the guys get bored and they want excitement, but I kind of feel like you make your own excitement. And if you like performing and if you're, really love it, then all the gigs are fun. And that's how I feel. I love them all. I don't care if there's 10 people out there or 1,500 or 4,000. I'm having a good time. So
we're down to like a minute and 20 seconds, and I'm going to ask you one that probably takes more than that, and we'll deal with it. Can you pinpoint that moment where you knew you wanted to be a musician?
I mean, I've known I wanted to be a singer for a very long time. I mean, I was singing and writing little songs to for my dad or whatever when I was like 5. And then my sister, Mary Beth, who's 5 years older than me, my mom would take me out to her chorus concerts and the musicals at Penn Hills High School. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. That looks fun. And I have kind of followed in my sister was, she was singing and those kind of things. And so I kind of followed in her footsteps, but maybe just took it a little bit further because I was fortunate enough to get into a band, like I said, in 1984. And I mean, I've just always loved it. I had a real career though, too. Like I was a salesperson for, my whole career up until I had my son. And I continued to work at my husband's company for a while after that. But there did come a point where I music and if I had to ask my husband, could I do that? Could I just do music? And he was sweet enough to say yes.
Kind of similar, but not really. Imagine me coming home one night and telling my wife, hey, I'm going to bring bands into the living room and they're going to play live. Because that happened.
I like that. I would like to be one of those bands. I'll come to your living room. That's my favorite. That's my analogy that I always use when I feel really comfortable, like at the Crafty Jackalope when we play there on Sundays and it's just a 2-hour show and it's right at the bar and there's like no room. The stage is this big. And I'm always like, I feel like I'm in my living room.
So we have an apartment, but it's in a huge house. This used to be a doctor's office and the living room was the waiting room. It's like 21 feet long and like 14 feet wide. So
yeah, wow.
If we didn't have all this furniture in here, but no one has played live in here for a little over 15 years, which is when my twin daughters were born, and we had a toddler, and that's when that stopped.
Yeah.
But
yep, I get it. Kids, what are you gonna do?
But Kathleen, it is time for us to go. I want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
You're welcome. And everyone needs to go to CathleenIreland.com, CathleenIreland.com, just for those people on the radio end, and just in case they would try and spell either of those words wrong. I don't know why, but just in case. Make sure you tune in each and every Monday night for Pennsylvania Rock Show. And on Tuesdays, usually there's a Pennsylvania Rock Show flashback. I don't have one this week, but you can find all of those and 3 questions in a song at buildascene.com. And then if you go to musicfrom412.com, there is so much unsigned and local music on that site that you can go and find on. There's Roku and Fire TV and radio station and streaming video. So once again, CathleenIreland.com, buildascene.com, musicfrom412.com, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know what that means. It's time for me to spin the wheel and find out who Drusky Entertainment is going to give concert tickets to. This week, we're giving away tickets to Anthony Gomes. It's a 21 and up show, Thursday, May 7th. Doors are at 6, shows at 8 p.m. It is at Jurgles Rhythm Grill. Tickets range from $35.15 to $48.65. You can grab those on Drusky Entertainment's website, druskyentertainment.com. I had 4 people sign up. I put their names a bazillion times over. Yeah, you see the wheel. They were Keith Laydig, Lily Six, Mike Whittington, Jeff Brooks. And I'm going to hit shuffle twice and then spin. And we are going to find out who the winner of those 2 tickets are. And that winner is Lily Six. So Lily, keep an eye on your email. You'll be receiving an email from me with information about the show, and then a follow-up email from Drusky Entertainment with how you can get those tickets from them. Everyone else, head to musicfrom412.com/contest to enter for your chance to win 2 tickets from Drusky Entertainment for select shows. And as always, go out and support local music, and we will see you next week.